Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the official YouTube channel of Officers at 24/7. My name is Amanjyot, and today we are going to discuss that how much time we should give to the preparation of the principle and practices of banking subject. Okay, so how much time it will require to complete the syllabus, and how much time it is required to give to the particular subject to complete the syllabus, to practice the questions, and to know how to manage the maximum marks in the subject. So we are going to discuss all these things today. Okay, so before starting the session, those candidates who are new to the Officers at a 24/7 channel, do subscribe the channel and press the bell icon so that all the upcoming sessions notification will be given to you. Okay, and if you have not downloaded the Adda 24/7 application yet, then do download the application, because it will help you to let you know that how many new batches are coming for your preparation regarding JAIIB or CAIIB or any other bank promotion exam you are preparing. Okay, so now let's start with the subject principles and practices of banking. So when we are talking about principles and practices of banking, we know there are 5 modules. The first module is Indian financial system, second is functions of banks, third is your banking terminology, fourth is your marketing of banking services, banking products, and fifth is your ethics. So these are the 5 modules of principles and practices of banking, and all the modules are very simple, all the modules are very easy to understand. The one important thing which you have to do is you have to have a conceptual understanding about all the topics. If you have got the conceptual understanding, then all the 5 modules will be very easy for all of you, and you will be able to attempt the questions which are of 0.5 marks, the questions of 1 mark, and the question of 2 marks. So we know 3 patterns of question will be seen in the principles and practices of banking exam, in which some questions will be of 0.5 marks, it means half marks, some will be of 1 mark, and some will be of 2 marks. So to attempt all the types of questions, all the pattern of question, we should have a proper information, we should have a proper knowledge about the concept. Without conceptual understanding, we will not be able to answer the questions, because it is not a type of exam in which you can go through a particular syllabus. You have read the syllabus for once and you will be able to qualify the exam. It is not possible. You should have a conceptual understanding when it comes to the principle and practices of banking subject, because this subject is related to the principles and practices banks are performing. And as we know, you all are banker, you are working in the bank, so you know the practical knowledge of banking, you know the uses of all the documents, or we can say all the products and services of the bank. Okay, but when it comes to the theoretical banking and practical banking, there are certain different things in both. Like for example, if we are taking about if we are saying that in the practical banking, banker performs this particular activity, there is a chances that it may be or it may not be allowed in the prior theoretical banking. Okay, let's say if we talk about the clearance of check condition, if the amount in words and figures are different in the check, then the practical banking dishonor the check, bank do not pay the payment of this particular type of check. Okay, but when it comes to the theoretical banking, it says that if there is a difference in the amount and the words and figures, then you can find the right amount which is written in the words, and you have to encash that particular check to the public. So there is certain differences between your practical banking and theoretical banking, and this is the only challenge you have to face while preparing for the PPB exam. Okay, so what we have to do, first of all, you should have conceptual understanding about the syllabus, about the topics, all the topics you are covering. Okay, you should have a conceptual understanding. After that, having a conceptual understanding, the next thing which we have to do is go through the recollected question. Okay, go through the recollected questions from the exam of June. So you have to check the recollected question of June 2022 exam, because after checking the previous year exam, or we can say recollected questions of the last exam, you will have a certain idea that what type of questions can be asked or what level of questions can be asked. Now there are certain candidates, there are certain students who actually leave certain topics or do not cover all the topics related to the principle and practices of banking subject, but this is not a right approach. If you are starting preparing for JIB at the right time, then you have a sufficient time to cover all the modules, to cover all the topics. So it's my suggestion to all of you, do not skip any topic, do not skip any particular module, because when we are going to go through the recollected question, you will find yourself that every topic has been asked in the exam. They have asked everything from the exam. So do not try to skip any module or any topic, because every topic and every module is very important. Okay, so do make sure you are covering the recollected questions. That is very much important. Okay, after that, if we're talking about what else we have to do, the next thing is your on the regular basis, do practice MCQs as much as you can. Okay, you have to practice the MCQ in the one-liner form also, and in the one-liner form also, and also the case study questions. So what you have to do, practice on the regular basis your one-liner question, which will come in the 0.5 marks question and 1 mark questions. Okay, and the 2 marks question will be maximum of your case study base. So try to focus on practicing the MCQs, one-liner, and also the case study. Now first you have to go through the topic wise test. Let's say for example you have covered the first topic of the module A, of module B or module C. After that, you should give 15 to 20 questions minimum of that particular topic at the time you have covered the topic. And after that, you have to give full length test also for the particular subject. Like for the PPB, you should give the full length test. And when it comes to the full length test, what does it mean? It means you have to give 120 questions test. Okay, in 120 minutes. And you have to analyze that how much score you have got from 100 marks. Okay, so this is what you have to do, that 120 questions you have to practice in 120 minutes, and you have to check how many marks you have got out of 100 marks. Or in this you will get 0.5 mark questions. Around 70 questions will be there from this type of questions, or this marks of questions. Okay, 0.5 marker question will be around 70. Next, 1 marker question will be around there 30 questions. Around 30 questions will be there from 1 marker, and the 2 markers questions will be around 15 questions. So what you have to do, first of all, do practice the topic wise test as you are completing each and every topic of any module of any particular chapter. Then you have to give the full length test of the subject, in which 120 questions should be attempted within 120 minutes, and you have to analyze that how much score you have got out of 100 marks. Okay, so this should be your strategy, which you should start from today onwards. Okay, you should start from today onwards, because we have more than sufficient time to qualify the November-December exam of JAIIB. And I have already told you that to qualify the JAIIB exam, what you have to do, you should have 45 marks in each subject. In each subject, the minimum marks which is required to qualify is 45. It means in all the 3 subjects you should have 45 marks. But when it comes to the total marks, the total aggregate marks you should have to qualify the JAIIB, it should be 150. We can say more than 150 or equivalent to 150 should be there. Okay, total marks. So 150 marks if you are getting in the overall paper of JAIIB, and you are having 45 marks in each subject, then you are able to qualify the JAIIB exam. So when it comes to the principle and practices of banking, you can maximize your marks as much as you can, because this is something which actually is your practical banking, which actually you know about because you are working in the bank. And these are the things which we are going to discuss in the principles and practices of banking. You all have heard about that once in a while. Okay, so you all have heard about the overall syllabus of the PPB or all the terms of the PPB. Okay, now so this should be the method of yours to start preparation. First, what you have to do, conceptual understanding you have to clear. Then you have to check the recollected question. Then MCQ practice should be there, and topic wise and full length test should be given. Okay, and do try to combine the subjects. Do try to combine the subjects at the time of preparation, because as we know, we are talking about principles and practices of banking. And if we are talking about the other subjects, that is your LRAB, and that next is your AFB. So all the three subjects are certainly related to the banking. If we talk about the principles and practices of banking and LRAB, these two subjects have very much common topics among them. Okay, so they have a common topic. So when you are preparing for PPB, do check the syllabus of LRAB and do make sure all the similar topics or all the same topics of both the subjects you are covering at the same time. Okay, you have to check in LRAB the legal aspect of the syllabus or legal aspect of the particular topic. And in the principles and practices of banking, you will let you know yourself that what practices or principles should be used on a particular topic. So the conceptual understanding and the rule or act which is applicable to that particular situation, you should cover together. Okay, and when it comes to the AFB, what you have to do, you have to cover the module D of AFB subject, because the module D covers the operational banking. So this is also similar to your PPB and LRAB syllabus. Okay, so this is what you have to do. You should start preparing from today onwards, so that at the end of the time when your exam will be there in the November-December month, you do not have to worry about that you will be able to qualify or not. Or those candidate who has not able to qualify the JAIIB exam this in the June attempt because of certain 2 marks or 3 marks. So do not risk your next attempt with the laziness or to start the paper or to start the preparation after 1 or 2 months or start the preparation from October onwards. So do make sure you are covering, you are reading a little bit syllabus on every daily basis. So you should have a proper schedule for daily basis, that how much you have to cover for the particular subject. As we know, we have 3 subjects and the huge syllabus is in the principles and practices of banking. So this will take a little bit more time in comparison to other 2 subjects. Okay, and the difficulty level will be similar in all the subjects. When it comes to the difficulty level, the moderate to difficult paper has been asked in the June attempt. So you have to make sure that you are covering syllabus according to that level of exam. Okay, now next. So if we are talking about the module A, the module A is related to your simply Indian financial system. So how to cover the module A and how much time you should give to the module A, we are going to discuss that. So in the first chapter, you have to cover the Indian financial system, in which you have to have an overview of the syllabus. You have to understand the types of bank, what is NBFC, the different types of bank, the different types of bank deposit account, the functions of RBI, the role of RBI, the history of RBI, the subsidiaries of RBI, and the primary dealers. It means we have to cover the financial institutions, that is banking institutions and non-banking financial institutions. So we have to cover overall introduction of the financial institutions in the country, and then we have to cover the CRR, SLR rules, regulations, or the conditions to fulfill by the different banks of the country. Okay, after that we have to cover the equity market, the debt market, the ADA, etc. So the overview means you should know about all these terms, you should know about all the banking institutions and all the non-banking financial institutions. Okay, after that you should have knowledge about the financial market, that what actually the financial market is, what is money market, what is capital market, what is debt market, what is forex market. So we should have a basic understanding or overview of the particular chapters. After that we have to focus on the banking regulations, in which we have to study the constitutions, the objective, the functions of RBI, the tools of monetary policy control, and regulatory restrictions on the lending. As we know, there are qualitative and quantitative measures. In qualitative and quantitative measures, we will find out that if we are talking about margin requirement, credit rationing, or moral suasion, these are the certain terms which are used in the qualitative and quantitative methods of the monetary policy. So how to cover these methods, how to make sure that you cover these things by doing understanding about the regulations on the conditions. Like for example, if RBI is using credit rationing, what regulation RBI can use here? What regulation can be implemented on the banks in the India? Okay, at the time of RBI implementing moral suasion or credit rationing or margin requirement, etc. So we have to understand about the regulations of the all the terms or all the measures taken by Reserve Bank of India, by SEBI, by ADA, by PFRDA, everything. Okay, so all the regulatory bodies, banking regulation we should know. Now next is retail banking, wholesale banking, international banking. First we have to cover all the types of banking. Okay, all the types of banking you have to cover, and after covering all the types of banking, you have to focus on the retail, wholesale and international banking. So do remember how many types of products are there available in the retail banking, what are the opportunities are available, how retail banking works, similarly the wholesale banking, similarly the international banking. Okay, after that the remittance services you have to cover, that is a outward remittance, inward remittance services. Outward remittance means money is transferred from India to abroad. Inward remittance means money is transferred from abroad to India. So we have to cover these things. After that we have to cover the universal banking, is also a type of banking. Then we have to cover the methods of foreign investment, that is ADR, GDR, participatory notes. We have to cover IDR, FDI, FII. Apart from that we have to cover your P notes also, P notes, participatory notes. So foreign portfolio investment, all these are the foreign investment methods which can be used in the country to make sure that we are able to transfer funds from India to abroad or from abroad to India, okay, with the help of remittance services or with the help of foreign investments. After that we have to cover the money market, all the functions of money market, all the instruments of money market, how they work. Then we have to cover the debt market, what is debt market, bond market or debenture market we have to cover. Then the foreign exchange market we have to cover, in which we have to cover the terms, the exchange rate system. Then we have to cover the types of exchange rate, which are NEER and REER. Okay, NEER and REER. So all these things we have to cover under the money market or forex market or debt market. Okay, we have to cover the FARA and FAMA, authorized dealers, government securities, then LIBOR and MIBOR. Also LIBOR has been replaced by alternate reference rate, we have to cover that also. So these are the things which we have to cover in the role of money market, debt market and forex market. Apart from that, role and function of capital market, we have to cover the capital market in detail. We have to cover all the three market segments, that is equity market, commodity market and derivative market. So we have to cover all the three markets in the capital market segments in very much detail, because questions has been asked from these three types of segments. Okay, now the overview of capital market, we should have the type of exchanges: stock exchange, Bombay Stock Exchange, National Stock Exchange, the index of BSE and NSE, then the terms which is used like arbitrage, curve trading, sweat shares, split shares. Okay, what are these terms? We have to cover that. Then the type of capital issues, what type of capital issues will be available for the particular company. Then the financial products, financial instruments including ASBA, quantity, QIP. Now after that we have SEBI, and what are the functions of SEBI, what are the registration process of a stock exchange, what prohibits by the SEBI, what functions are promoted by the SEBI, how many types of animals of capital market are there, who are sub brokers, what is share transfer agents, what is QIBs. So we have to cover all these things which are related to the capital market and SEBI in detail, because it is a very interesting chapter, it is a very huge chapter also. So mutual funds and insurance company, bank insurance, ADA, in which we have to cover first of all what insurance product or insurance business a bank can perform. On the basis of or on the recommendation of the Malhotra committee, we have checked that banks are able to provide bank assurance, referral business and insurance underwriting facility since the year 2000. But now in the practical banking, how many types of services in the insurance business is provided by bank, we have to cover that. Then what are the different types of mutual fund, what is mutual fund, what is net asset value, then what is its management or its role, the role and function of the insurance company, what is bank assurance, what is referral business, insurance underwriting, what is ADA, what are the different rules of ADA, what are the functions and rules of ADA. We have to cover everything in the particular chapter. Now the alternate source of finance we have to cover. As you can see in your syllabus, they have given the two types of alternate source of finance, that is factoring and forfeiting. But we do not have to limit our preparation to only these two types of alternate source of finance, because they also ask question on hire purchase. Okay, they also ask question on your angel investor. They also ask question on your venture capitalist. Okay, or they can also ask your question on P2P. So what we have to do, we have to cover all the alternate source of finance in the available in the financial system. Leasing is also there. So we have to cover all the alternate source of finance, but in detail we have to cover the functions, the advantages, the disadvantages, the benefits, the role, and etc. everything about the alternate source of finance. After that, we have to cover the types of balance sheet items. Okay, book value, we have to cover everything related to the balance sheets items we have to cover. Apart from that, risk management will cover. In risk management we should know what is risk, what are the different types of risk, and how to measure this risk, how to control this risk, etc., or how to recover from this risk. These are the certain basic things which we should know about the risk management. And the Basel Accord, these are very important. We should know about the Basel Committee. After that, we should know about the BIS, Bank for International Settlement. That is very important. So we have to cover the Basel Accord in the Basel Committee, and also with the Basel norms. Okay, so this we should have to cover. Then CIBIL, Fair Practices Code for Debt Collection, BCSBI, we have to cover. So what is CIBIL? CIBIL is credit rating agency. Apart from CIBIL, we have to cover all the other credit rating agencies also. Like CRISIL, we have to cover. Then we have ICRA. Then we have CAIR. We have SMERA. We have ONICRA. Okay, etc. So these are the national crediting agency. Then S&P is there, Standard and Poor. Then Moody's is there. Fitch Rating is there. Okay, so these are the international crediting agencies. So we have to cover all the crediting agencies. Now, who regulates the crediting agencies in the India? We have to cover all that things. Okay, now we have to cover the Fair Practices Code for the debt collection, and also the BCSBI. As we know, BCSBI started dissolution in the year November 2021, but still it is in the syllabus. There is a chances that in 2023, when the syllabus is going to be changed, there is a chances that the BCSBI will be removed in the syllabus. But now we have to cover what is BCSBI, what are the role of BCSBI, or how it helps the consumer to get the correct services from the bank. Okay, next we have to cover the recent developments in the financial system. The structure of financial system reforms has been done, or the developments recently has been done in the money market, debt market, forex market, in capital market. What the regulatory frameworks has been changed in the financial market, what the regulatory framework has been changed for the payment and settlement system of India. So we have to cover all these things in the module A. Okay, so this is the overall syllabus of module A. Now, how much time you should give to the module A is we required to give 20 days to the module A. If you are covering as per the syllabus by the topics one by one, then we need only 20 days to cover this particular syllabus. Now, why I am saying 20 days? Because I know you all are working, you have very less time to prepare for the exam. So if you give on the basis of on daily basis, if you give 2.5 hours on the daily basis for the preparation of PPB, then 20 days is sufficient to cover all the conceptual understanding of all the topics of module A. After that, practicing the topic wise test and also practicing the case study. Okay, so we need 20 days to cover the module A. Okay, and how much detail you have to cover, I have told everything. Now, if we talk about the module B, first we have to cover the banker-customer relationship, the bailor and bailee relationship, the lessor or lessee relationship. Okay, or apart from that, the multiple types of banker-customer relationship we have to cover here. The types we should cover, different deposits, product and services we should cover, services to customer and investors, what type of services is given to them, or how these services are provided to them, what type of relationship is bank maintaining at the time of providing the different types of services to the customer, etc. So we have to cover all these things in the banker customer relationship. Now the KYC, AML, CFT, all the important norms are very important. To know what is KYC guidelines, what is AML guidelines, what is CFT guidelines, what is Prevention of Money Laundering Act, what is KYC norms, what is the punishment if any person found guilty of money laundering. So we have to cover everything in the PMLA Act 2002, KYC norms, the AML norms or regulations, or the CFT norms and regulations. Okay, we have to cover some international regulations also, like what is according to FATF should be done in the case of KYC, AML and CFT. We have to cover that also, and we have to update the guidelines given by FATF or RBI regarding all these three norms. Okay, now next is banker special relationship, in which we have to study the mandate, the power of attorney, garnish order, banker's line, right of set of services. So these are the services which is provided by the bank, and these create a special relationship between bank and the customer. Okay, we have to cover all these special relationships. Now what are these different terms, how they affect the banking business, how they are useful for the customer, how they are useful for the bank. We have to cover all that things. Okay, next is consumer protection. We have to cover to protect the rights of the consumer. We have different acts or different services provided by the banks. First is COPRA. We have to cover, this is an act, so we have to cover the operational aspects of the COPRA Act. Then we have to cover the banking ombudsman scheme. Now this banking ombudsman scheme is mainly known as integrated ombudsman scheme. Integrated ombudsman scheme, because the banking ombudsman scheme, the ombudsman scheme for NBFCs, the ombudsman scheme for digital payment system, all these three are merged, and now it is known as integrated ombudsman scheme. So we have to cover the integrated ombudsman scheme, the recent report of the integrated ombudsman scheme. We have to cover that, how much complaints we have got offline, how much complaints we have got online, how much complaints has been solved, or within how many days it has solved. So all these key findings of the annual report of banking ombudsman scheme we have to cover. Okay, after that we have to cover the payment and collection of check and other negotiable instrument. So we have three negotiable instruments, that is promissory note, bill of exchange and check. We have to cover all that in the detail, and all the terms like what is MICR, what is IFSC related to the check, we have to cover these also. Okay, so NI Act, we have to cover certain sections which are important. Then role and duties of paying collecting bankers. Then the endorsement, what is endorsement, how endorsement will be done, what are the forged instruments, bouncing of check is what, cancellation of check is what, dishonor of check is what, then its implication, return of check, the types of check, the check truncation system 2010. So all these things we have to cover in the payment and collection of checks. So there are certain different types of check system is there. Okay, apart from that, if we're talking about the payment system, we have certain paper based system, like we have check, demand draft, etc. We have electronic methods, electronic payment system, in which NEFT, RTGS, IMPS, everything will be used, etc. Then we have other payment system like ATM or card payments, etc. These are the other POS machine. These are the other methods of payment settlement. So there are three types of payment settlement method, by the using the paper instruments and electronic instruments and other instruments. Okay, now the opening account of various types of customers. So types of customers we have to cover here, like we are going to talk about the minor account, then the widow's account, then the Parda Nashin women's account, etc. So this is what we have to cover under the types of various customers account should be opened. So operational aspect of opening and maintaining account of different type of customers, including Aadhaar. So after taking Aadhaar, how many types of customers account can be maintained in the bank officially, that will be covered. Now the savings bank rate deregulation we have to cover. Earlier RBI has to give the rates. Now from the year 2010, individual bank decides by their own that how much interest rate they have to. Okay, now ancillary services are related to the additional services. So bank accepts deposit, provide loan, etc. These are the regular business of the bank, regular day-to-day transactions of the bank. Ancillary services cover your related services or additional services. So in which we have to cover the types of remittances, the safe deposit lockers, the government business, electronic benefit transfer, everything we have to cover. So all the related services or additional services provided by banking system, provided by bankers to the customer, we have to cover under the ancillary services. Okay, after that we have cash operations, the cash management system we have to cover, and we have to cover its importance, how it is helping the consumers or the bankers also. So that cash management system should be covered. After that, principles of lending should be covered about the home loan, credit card, your personal loan, your business loan, everything should be covered. Then the working capital assessment and credit monitoring should be done. So the cardinal principles, non-fund based limits, working capital, term loans, credit appraisal techniques, sources of working capital funds and its estimation, operating cycle, projected net working capital, the turnover method, the cash budget, the credit monitoring and management, and the base rate, everything we have to cover related to the principle of lending, and also the capital assessment and credit monitoring. Okay. Next is your priority sector advances, in which we have to cover the targets of priority sector. First of all, we should know what is priority sector, how many sectors are there in the priority sector. Now, what the target has been given by RBI, what targets has been given by RBI, what recent sectors has been added in the PSL, or apart from that, we have to cover that if bank is not capable of fulfilling the PSL target given by RBI, then what a bank should do. Okay, we have to cover that also. Now, agricultural finance, if we are talking about, it covers the types of agricultural loan, the risk mitigation in agriculture, NIAS, MSP, everything we have to cover. So in the agricultural finance, every services or scheme also related to the agriculture finance we have to cover. Like KCC is there, Kisan Credit Card, the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana is there. So these are certain important schemes related to the agricultural finance or making the life of farmers more easier, like Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Kisan Mandhan Yojana. So we have to cover these schemes also to know about the agricultural finance or all the benefits given by bank to the public, to the farmers. Okay. Apart from that, we have micro, small, medium enterprises. So we have to first of all study the definition of micro enterprises, small enterprises, and medium enterprises. Then we have to cover micro, small, medium enterprises Development Act 2006. Then the policy package for MSMEs, the performance and credit scheme, and we have to cover the latest development. We have to cover the credit guarantee trust, credit guarantee fund trust for the micro small enterprises, CGT MSE we have to cover, which provides the collateral free loan to the MSME. So these are the things which we have to cover under the micro, small, medium enterprises. Then the government sponsored schemes is very important. We have to cover the flagship schemes of government. Okay, all the flagship schemes should be covered here. Now, self-help groups need for functions. What is the need of self-help group? What are the functions of self-help group? Role of NGOs in indirect finance to self-help groups. Now, the schemes related to the self-help group to promote the self-help group, capacity building. What loan should be given to the women's self-help group? What day NRLM is helping in the self-help groups, etc. These are the things which we have to cover. Okay. After that, credit card, home loan, personal loan, consumer loan, all the operational aspect, all the advantages or the disadvantages, guidelines of using credit card, the procedure, practices of home loan, personal loan, consumer loan, we have to cover all these things. After that, what documentation is required to getting any type of loan is important. What documents is required or procedure we have to follow, stamping, securitization, how to do the securitization, everything should be covered in the documentation of the home loan, personal loan, business loan, etc. Now, different modes of charging security. First, we have to understand what are the different types of collateral like lion, mortgage, hypothecation pledge. What are their characteristics we have to cover, like land and building you are giving as a collateral, that is known as mortgage. Then if you are giving goods, if you are giving the documents of title to the goods, it means you are giving the bills to the bank to as a security proof. Okay. Then advance against the insurance policy, LIC policy, shares you are giving, book debts, term deposit, gold, supply bills, etc. So all these are the types of collateral which we are using at the time of getting loan from the bank. Okay. Now after that, we have to understand the different modes of charging security. We have assignment, we have lion, set off, hypothecation, pledge, mortgage. So these are the certain different modes of charging security. So what charge should be given at the time of giving security to the bank, we have to cover that also. Now the non-performing asset, a very important chapter in which we have to cover first of all types of assets, the duration of NPA, the overdue period, the overdraft period or out of order period, we have to cover definitions, income recognition, the provisioning norms done for the NPA, what is gross NPA, what is net NPA, the assets classification, the CDR, everything we have to cover here. And what are the different methods of recovering the NPA, we have to cover that also, like asset reconstruction company, then we have Lok Adalat, then we have DRT, then we have DRET, then we have NCLT, then we have NCLAT, then we have IBC, then we have Sarfasi Act, etc. So all these are the methods of recovering NPA. We have to cover all. Then the financial inclusion. What is financial inclusion and how it is helping the country to make each and every person to have a financial services or product? What are banking correspondent? What are banking facilitators? Role of ICT in financial inclusion, mobile-based transactions, everything we have to cover related to the financial inclusion. Okay. Now, financial literacy, making people aware about the financial product and services known as financial literacy. So, what is the importance and customer awareness, how to create customer awareness, everything will be covered here. So, these are the topics under the module B. And to cover module B, overall topics, we require 25 days because we know that syllabus is very vast of the module B. So, module B is the having highest syllabus or the maximum syllabus in the principles and practices of banking. So you have to give minimum 25 days to cover the conceptual understanding, and after that to cover the topic wise test and case studies. Okay, so we need 25 days to qualify the or to complete the module B syllabus after focusing on the conceptual understanding. Okay, I am not just saying that just go to the books or just go to the video lectures and listen once that what is these terms are. You have to have knowledge about these terms. You have to cover the conceptual understanding of these terms. When you are having the conceptual understanding, you will find it very easy to memorize the concept. You will find it very easy to answer the questions related to the module. Okay. Now, module C is very easy module, or we can say it will be covered by you very easily. So, first is it covers the banking terminology only. So, essentials of bank computerization, computer system, LAN, WAN, UPS, core banking system, we have to cover this. So what is core banking system, why it was introduced, etc. We have to cover all these things in the module C, in the first essential of bank computerization. Now the payment system and electronic banking, as we have discussed that there is method in which paper based clearing system is there, payment system is there, electronic payment system is there, other payment systems are there. So ATMs or HWAK, Hawk, pen, electromagnetic cards, electronic banking, signature storage, retrieval system, CTS, note and coin counting machines, micro office, then we have NPC, RuPay, etc. So all the services provided by NPCI we have to cover here. Okay, apart from that, all the different modes of payment system we have to cover here. Okay, now the types of notes we have to cover, like mutilated notes, soil notes, we have to cover this, and what is the guidelines given by RBI to exchange these types of notes, we have to cover that also. Now role of next is data communication network, electronic fund transfer system. So components or mode of transmission we have to cover, the major networks in India, emerging trends in communication network, for banking evolution of electronic fund transfer system, then SWIFT we have to cover, automated clearing system we have to cover, fund transfer system, recent development in India. So we have to cover all the national and international networks which helps the banking system to share their financial messages among them or financial transactions among them. Okay, at the global level, at the national level also. Now, role of technology upgradation and its impact on the bank. So, trends in technology development, role and uses of technology upgradation, global trends, impact of IT on bank, these are important. Now, you will find a little bit difficult the data communication network or the networks type we have to cover, and the impact of IT on the banks, technology of development has been done. So, these are the certain technical terms which you have to memorize. Okay. Then we have security considerations. So what are the risk concerns area are there, types of threats are there, types of risk are there, what is control mechanism, what is risk management mechanism we are using, computer audit, IS security, IS audit, evaluation requirement, we have to cover all the security consideration here. Then in module C we have to cover the IT Act, overview of IT Act should be done, in which Gopal Krishnan committee recommendation we have to study. Then the prevention, vigilance in electronic banking, we have to cover the phishing, which is a type of cyber crime, or customer education, safety checks, precautions, we have to cover everything which prevent the electronic banking's fraud, etc. Okay, so that will be the preventive vigilance in electronic banking. So this is the overall syllabus of module C, and I should request you that should give 15 days to the module C, because there are certain technical terms you have to cover, and to memorize these terms is a little bit hard. So you should give a maximum of 15 days to this particular module. Okay. After that, if we talk about the module D, you just have to go as per the syllabus given in the your notification. Okay, so start with the introduction of the marketing, that what is marketing, what is the concept of marketing, what is management, what is product and services of marketing, what is marketing mix, that is also known as 4 P's of marketing, brand image, etc. What is labeling, what is branding, what is your packaging, etc. We have to cover everything. Okay, next is social marketing and networking. We have to cover evolution of social marketing or networking, importance and relevance of social marketing networking, how you can utilize or how you can benefit yourself by doing the social marketing or networking in the particular banking product and services. Okay, after that, consumer behavior and product. You have to understand the consumer behavior. So consumer understanding is the first step in the marketing. Till you are not able to understand the behavior of the customer, you will be not able to sell the product to the customer. So you have to understand the consumer behavior. You have to do the product planning, development, strategies, etc. Customer relationship management you have to study. So all the things which make a good relation with the customer and let you know what is the behavior of the consumer is there, what are the likes and dislikes of the consumer, we have to cover that. So when we are talking about market, we have a 2 types, that is marketplace and market space. So when we are talking about marketplace, it means the physical market where we go and shop goods by checking the products. Okay, and the market space is online market in which you are purchasing the goods and services in the online form. Okay, so these 2 types of markets are there, and we have to cover the consumer behavior in all the types of market. Now pricing is also a part of marketing mix, so we have to cover the pricing mix in detail, the importance, the objectives, the factors, methods, the strategy of pricing, bank pricing, etc. Different types of schemes, or not the schemes, but different types of pricing strategies we have to cover here. Okay, like market penetration, what is market penetration, etc. After that, the distribution, part of place mix. So what are the different distribution channels are there? 0 level, 1 level, 2 level, 3 level. So channels of banking services, net banking, mobile banking, we have to cover in the distribution channel, which is a part of marketing mix, place distribution. Now place mix. Channel management we should do. What is the meaning of channel management, level of dynamics, advantages, all the things related to the channel management we have to cover, because this channel management also help in the promotion. Okay, so promotion mix also a part of marketing mix. So what is the role of promotion in marketing? Promotion mix is what is advertisement, what is sales promotion, what is public relationship, what is door-to-door selling, everything we have to cover in the promotion. Okay, then we have role of direct selling agent, direct marketing agent in the bank. So definition, relevance, banker as DSA, DMA, delivery channels in banks and benefits of all these channels, we have to cover that. Okay, so direct selling agent, indirect selling agent, we have to cover that. Now marketing information system, what is the role of marketing information system, what is the characteristics, services, etc. In the detail we have to cover. The functions, components of marketing information system, the models, the use of computers, decision making, performance of marketing information system, what are the advantages, what are the components, elements of marketing information system, we have to cover that. So this is the overall syllabus of your module D, and only you have to go in the same format as per the syllabus. You do not have to do anything else. Just follow the sequence of the syllabus and you will be easily able to memorize the marketing. Because what is marketing? Marketing is simply the practical things we face in the market. So whenever a seller or whenever a shopkeeper came to us to sell certain product, what strategy he is using, we have to read all that strategy in the theoretical part only. Otherwise we know what is marketing, how they attract the consumer, how they do the consumer analysis, or how they study the consumer behavior. Okay, so all these things we have to cover. And to cover the module D, we should have to give 10 days. That is sufficient to cover the module D's syllabus. Okay, because you have to read the module D syllabus as a story also. Now when it comes to the module A, this is the last module and also type of important module because it was added after a certain years. So was added newly, the module E. So we have to cover this very much easily. First, ethics, the business ethics, the banking and integrated perspective. We have to cover work ethics, business ethics, or the personal ethics here. So ethics at individual level, it means personal ethics, your values, your morals, we have to cover. The behavior at workplace you should follow. The ethical dimensions you should follow. What ethical dimensions an employee should follow. It means what is the code of conduct of the particular organization or bank. Then the work ethics and the workplace, what work ethics you should follow at the workplace, because there are two types of form of organization: formal form of organization, informal form of organization. And in both form of organizations, what type of behavior you should follow, what type of ethics you should have, you have to cover that. Then the banking ethics and the challenging dynamics in the ethics. So when you are talking about the module E, what you have to do here is, you will find this subject very interesting, because it let you know that how you have to behave, how you have to continue your honesty, how you have to maintain integrity at the workplace. So all these things will be told by the module E. So it's a kind of very interesting subject also, ethics. And you will require 15 days to cover this particular chapter or this particular module, because this is the recently added module. Or there are certain terms which feels similar, but they are different in the ethics. Like for example, if I talk about the honesty or integrity, so both things are in general are saying that the people is working according to the code of conduct of the organization. It means people is not disobey the rules and regulations of the organization. But honesty and integrity, both are very different when it comes to the point of view of ethics. So honesty is simply when a person is being honest with its work, the person is being honest with its code of conduct, the person is following the rules and regulations of the particular organization. So when the person is following the rules, regulations and working accordingly, that is honesty. So if you are not taking bribe, that is honesty. But if you are continuing the act of the honesty, that will become the integrity. Okay, that will become the integrity. So whenever we are talking about the honesty, it simply means when a person is not disobey the rules, the person is following the rules, he is not doing anything wrong, that is honesty. Okay, if the person is being honest. On this integrity means the continuous act of your honesty, that is integrity. So this is the basic difference in the terms. So the terms are kind of similar meaning, having similar meaning, but in concept of the ethics, they have a different explanation. They can have a different explanation. So that's why you should give 15 days to this module. Okay. And as we know, our next exam is in November and December. So it is very easy for us to allot this duration to all the modules. Okay, it will become very easy for all of you. And module C and module E have the same priority, because same number of questions will be asked from both the modules. Okay, so this is the proper strategy you have to follow. One note is there: do not skip any module or topic. Always you have to read the complete syllabus, because when you check your recollected question, then you will find that every module and every topic has been asked, because you have 120 questions, and 120 questions can be from anywhere of its syllabus. So maximum number of questions came from module B, then module E, then C, then D and E. Okay, so this is the priority you should give to the modules. But still, do not skip any module and topic. If you start from today onwards, you do not have to skip any topic, because we have more than sufficient time to cover for the November-December exam. Okay, so do make sure you are covering all the modules and all the topics in the detail. Okay, and these are the topics which you have to revise at the time of exam. So before the 10 days of the exam, what you have to do, you have to revise these topics in detail, because these are the priority topics, or these are the topics from all the modules which has been asked very much in the exam. Like multiple questions has been asked in the on the PSL, CRR, SLR. So we have to cover these topics. So these are the around 20 topics from the module B which you have to revise at the time of exam. Okay, this should be your strategy, that before the exam you will cover all the modules, like the duration I have given to you. So according to that, you have to cover all the modules, and at the end of the exam, before 10 days of the exam, these are the topics you have to revise in module B, and these 10 topics are important in module A. Then module D, you have to cover everything. Module C and E, you have to cover everything, but module A and B covers 50% of your syllabus, so you have to give the priority to the certain topics which I have told you. Okay, now this is all about the time which will be required to cover the principle and practices of banking. Now the duration I have allotted to the particular module is not only to qualify the exam, but also having a knowledge or skills about these things, because we know when you pass the JAIIB, there is a certain expectation of your branch members, of your colleagues, that you have qualified this exam, so you should know about this particular concepts in detail. You should know the principles and practices of banking in detail. So they will come to you, they will look to you whenever they will find any difficulty in the banking practices or principles. Okay, so this is how, if you cover the syllabus, you not only able to qualify the exam, you will get highest score in the subject, and also you will be able to help your branch employees or your colleagues to understand the things much better. Okay, so this is all for today. So first of all, if you are new to the Officers Adda 24/7 channel, then do subscribe the channel and press the bell icon so that all the upcoming sessions notification will be given to you. If you still have any query regarding JAIIB exam or PPB subject, then you can ask in the comment section your query. I will check your comments and answer your query. Okay, now if you like the session, if you enjoyed the session, then share the session with your friends and colleagues who are going to give the JAIIB exam in November, December, and also do press the like button of the video. Okay, so thank you all for joining the session and stay safe. So let's meet tomorrow with the another topic, or only on the Officers Adda 24/7. Okay, acha, before ending this session, I will let you know that on the Adda 24/7 application, you will find all the upcoming batches which is required for your preparation. So as we know, you are working and you have very little time to prepare for the exam. Then what you can do, will this PPB class conduct on daily basis? Yes, the PPB class will be on the daily basis at every morning, Monday to Saturday at 6:15 a.m. Okay, now to have the conceptual understanding, what you have to do, you have to go to the Adda 24/7 application and you will find the JAIIB CAIIB section there. And after going to the JAIIB and CAIIB section, you will find that JAIIB November December English medium batch is there, and also the JAIIB November December bilingual batch is there. So how you want to prepare? If you want to prepare in English medium, the batches are already available. If you want to prepare in the bilanguage, also the batches are available. Okay, so these are the batches. If you have already qualified one or two subjects in the June exam, in the June attempt, and you only have to give one exam, then the individual subject batches is also available, and also the combined batch of all the three subjects are available. Now, how to enroll in this particular batch? You have to go to the particular batch. You can check your study plan here. So this batch is starting from 1st of July, and this batch is for your November December attempt. Okay, so you can find the study plan here, that how we are going to cover your syllabus, and the class timing will be your early morning and late evening, because we know you do not have time in the daytime. So how to enroll in this particular batch? You have to go to the view offer. After going to the view offer, you can use the code Y496, and if you apply this particular code, you will get maximum discount here of 77%. Okay, if you want 1% additional discount, what you can do, you can use Adda 24/7 application to get the discount. Okay, so this is what you will get the particular batch in all the three subjects for your JAIIB preparation in the amount of 3,200 rupees only, and 1% additional discount will be given if you purchase the batch from Adda 24/7 application by using a code Y496. Okay, so this is the dedicated batch for your preparation of November and December exam, and it is starting from 1st of June. So if you are planning to prepare the November December attempt and you want to qualify the exam, then do make sure you start joining this session, or you join this particular batch from 1st of July. Because in the first class, all the mentors are going to let you know what strategy should be followed, what is your syllabus, and what we are going to do in the next 2 or 3 months of your batch. Okay, so the first class is very important, that is introduction class. So do make sure, if you are planning to buy the particular product, so this batch is starting from 1st of July, and it is going to help you very much in your exam preparation. Okay, so that is all for today. So thank you all for joining the session and stay